Level 1, the beginning. You arrive. A general hospital, a satellite city outside Seoul. National health insurance covers part of the bill. Your birth adds to a number the whole country is watching. Seoul has spent over $270 billion in 16 years. All of it aimed at this one number. It barely moves. 2 streets over, an elementary school folds 2 grades into one classroom. Not enough children born to fill them separately anymore. You are one of the few. Your grandparents arrive within the hour. This apartment becomes a second home to them starting now. At 100 days, Bakel. Rice cake goes out to the neighbours. The custom is old. Back then, 100 days alive wasn't guaranteed. Your parents don't say that part out loud. They just make the rice cake. At 1 year, doljanchi. A hanbok too big for you. A round table, no corners, so you can't bump your head on it. Thread for long life. A bow for skill. A pencil for a scholar's life. Money for wealth. You reach for the pencil. The room laughs, then claps. Myeokguk again, the seaweed soup from your first week home. It will show up on every birthday you have from now on. You won't notice the pattern for decades. Your parents already ran the numbers once quietly, before any of this. Raising a child here, birth through university, runs close to 400 million won. They didn't say that part out loud either. You can't walk yet. Already, one word gets said in this apartment more than any other. Hagwon. Not a place yet, just a plan. Level 2, the early years. You are 6. Elementary school starts. The classroom is smaller than your parents' was, smaller than theirs before that. Fewer children get born here every year now. Hagwon starts the same year. English first, twice a week. Math follows within months. Nobody in this neighbourhood finds that unusual. Every afternoon the gate opens. You find a grandparent waiting outside it. You walk together to their apartment 3 blocks over. You do homework at their kitchen table, a rice cracker within reach. This becomes the routine for years. Money for private lessons climbs faster than almost any other line in the household budget. Your parents don't discuss it in front of you. You notice anyway, the way children notice. Sialal arrives. You bow low to your grandparents, palms together, forehead near the floor. Sabai. They hand you a small envelope, Sabaton, folded bills inside. Tirgoik follows, rice cake soup, 1 bowl each, a year added just by eating it. A boy from 2 doors down starts walking to Hagwon with you. Same age, same route, same backpack brand. He becomes the fixture your childhood runs on. Convenience stores sit on every corner. Older kids disappear into the PC bang after school for hours at a time. You're too young for that yet. Report cards start carrying weight they didn't before. A number follows you home now, stapled to a page. His mother starts asking other mothers which elementary school zone ranks higher. You don't understand the question yet. You will. Level 3, the coming of age. You are 14. Middle school brings nation. Internal class rank tracked from now on. It sits alongside one single exam still 3 years off. Both numbers matter. Neither forgives you. Hagwon eats every evening now. You leave school at 4. You walk straight to the academy, no stop at home first. You eat dinner from a container between class blocks. You get back to the apartment past 10 most nights. Your sleep drops to around 6 hours. That's an hour under what other countries consider normal at your age. Saturday mornings, a part-time shift at the convenience store on the corner. Your first one that nobody else decided how to spend. Your friend from 2 doors down chose differently this year. A Meister school, hands-on training instead of the university track. You still meet some nights for tteokbokki after Hagwon lets out. Rice cakes in red sauce. Steam on both your faces in the cold. Your family now spends over 1/10 of its monthly budget on your lessons alone. Second only to food. Your parents don't call it a sacrifice out loud. Mock exam results get posted on the classroom wall by rank. Your name sits somewhere in a list of 40. You find it first every time before you read anyone else's. Your mother starts something she doesn't explain. 100 days of prayer at a temple near the apartment. A full year before the real date. You notice the pattern before you understand it. 1 in 5 people sitting the exam each year already tried once before. That fact sits differently in your stomach than it used to. By winter, the exam date is circled in red on the kitchen calendar. Your stack of workbooks stands taller than you do, sitting down. Level 4, the fork in the road. You are 18. Sunung Day arrives in November. The test centre isn't your own school. That rule exists to prevent cheating. You report at 8:10 in the morning. 8 hours sit between you and the walk back out. Banks open an hour late that day. The stock market opens an hour late too. Military drills near the test halls stop completely. Planes overhead get rerouted so no engine noise leaks into the listening section. Your mother's 100 days of prayer end this same week. At the door, she presses something into your hands. Yeot, sticky toffee. Chap saltioke, sticky rice cake. The stickiness is the whole point. She wants the answers to stick to you the same way. Underclassmen line the street outside your test hall. They bow to seniors they've never spoken to. A few hold handwritten signs. Police motorcycles idle nearby, engines running, on standby for anyone running late. You aren't one of them today. Inside 5 parts. Korean language, math, English, Korean history, 1 exploration subject. English gets graded on an absolute scale. Everything else gets curved against every other student who sat the same paper, same morning, same country. 1 in 5 people in that room already tried this once before. You think about that fact. Then the proctor calls time and you stop thinking about it. Your score arrives by percentile and grade band, not a raw number. It lands solidly in the middle. Not one of the 3 most famous universities in the country. A real one. You read it twice. Your shoulders drop. Not from disappointment. University starts in March. Roughly 7 in 10 Korean high school graduates make the same jump that same spring. One of the highest rates anywhere in the world. Over the next 2 years, friends start disappearing in 2s and 3s. Mandatory military service, 18 to 21 months apiece. Group chats go quiet by one name at a time. Reunions get planned around someone's leave now, not the other way around. A notice board outside your first lecture hall is already covered in flyers. Internship programs. Certificate courses. Competitions with cash prizes and a line for your resume. You haven't picked a major yet. The board doesn't care. Level 5 entering the system. You are 23. Graduation doesn't hand you anything automatically. The average job search for a first position now runs 10 months. You budget for longer than that just in case. Spec becomes a word you use as a verb. An internship here. A TOEIC score there. A certificate from a night class. A competition you placed in, barely, but placed. None of it guarantees anything. All of it gets required anyway. Most applicants your age are aiming at the same short list of employers, the big conglomerates everyone's heard of. Smaller companies post openings that go unfilled for months. You apply to both kinds anyway. Your first real job when it lands is a contract position, non-regular status. No mistake on your part. Just the common first rung on this particular ladder. Moving out means confronting Geonts. You save for years first. You take out a Geonts loan against the difference. You sign a 2-year lease with no monthly rent attached. You hand over a deposit that can run past 600 million won in the capital region, $500,000, refunded whole only when you eventually leave. The subway becomes as familiar as your own apartment. 40 minutes each way, most days standing. Cow workers turn into something like family through Hosik. After work dinners nobody quite dares to skip. Shared soju, shared complaints. A version of belonging that leaves you tired the next morning regardless. Eventually, after enough of these contract rounds, a regular position opens and gets offered to you. Full enrollment now. National pension and national health insurance. Paid in as a contributor instead of carried as someone's dependent. Dating starts to feel like a spreadsheet before there's anyone specific to enter into it. Whose Geonts deposit is bigger? Whose salary is steadier? Whose parents can help and whose can't? You run this math alone, more than once, before you ever run it with someone else. Level 6, the build. You are 32. Marriage arrives later than it did for your grandparents. 32 isn't unusual anymore. The national average sits at 33.9 for men, 31.6 for women. Both numbers have climbed for years running. After the modern ceremony, paybake follows in private. Handbok again like your first birthday, like every major holiday since. You bow deeply to your new in-laws. They throw chestnuts and dates towards you both. An old wish for children, folded into whatever you catch in the cloth. You and your spouse split every cost evenly. Hall photographs honeymoon. Your grandparents' generation would have expected the groom's family to cover most of it. That expectation shifted in one generation flat. Years of Geonts leases sit behind you now. You saved for years first. You renewed one lease, then signed a different one when the deposit climbed. You took out a Geonts loan to cover the gap. You finally sign as the buyer, not the tenant. A modest apartment in the same satellite city you grew up in. Some help came from both sets of parents. 1 child arrives, not 2. The fertility rate in this country has dropped below 1, the lowest recorded anywhere on Earth. 1 child quietly has become the number that actually describes most families who have any children at all. Your child starts Hagwon at 6. Same age you did. You notice the repetition. You don't say much about it out loud, the same way your own parents didn't. Working hours here remain among the longest of any wealthy country, even after years of gradual cuts. Weeknight dinners with your child happen after 9 most nights, once your commute and the last meeting both clear out of the way. Hosik dinners continue, except you're the one hosting juniors now instead of being hosted. Same soju, different seat at the table. Your parents start needing rides to the hospital more often than they used to. Nothing urgent yet. Just a pattern starting to show itself one appointment at a time. Level 7, the reckoning. You are 48. Hospital visits for a parent turn into a weekly habit now. A medication schedule gets taped to their refrigerator door. You check it twice whenever you visit, just to be sure. National health insurance covers part of the cost. Not all of it. The rest comes out of your own account, a bill that doesn't shrink no matter how many times you look at it. Chuseok arrives and you're hosting this year instead of visiting. You clean the apartment for 3 days straight before anyone arrives. You shape the Songpyeon-do into half moons the night before, a shape meant to bring a brighter year ahead. You lay the cherry table in the old order. Rice and soup go to the north, meat to the west, fruit and sweets to the south. You bow first this time. Host not guest for the first time in your life. The highway home used to be someone else's problem. Now it's yours, both directions, standstill traffic that hasn't changed in your lifetime. At work, colleagues a few years older than you start getting offered honorary retirement. Early, gentle-sounding final. The real average age people actually stop working here sits closer to 49 than 60. 3 out of every 4 who leave early didn't choose the timing themselves. Your own child is a teenager now, deep in the same Hagwon grind you once lived through. You recognize the exhaustion on their face before they say a word about it. You don't say much either. You just remember. A friend's father dies that same year. The funeral turns into an unplanned reunion. You stand next to each other. You've known each other since before either of you could talk. Retirement savings, built entirely on the mandatory pension contribution, look thinner than you expected against 30 more years of living. You do the math more than once, hoping you did it wrong the first time. You start quietly asking around. What happens after someone gets pushed out at 50-something? Nobody you ask has a clean answer yet. You'll get one soon enough, whether you want it or not. Level 8, the descent. You are 58. The offer reaches you now too. Years earlier than the plan you'd built in your head. You clean out your desk in one afternoon. You hand back the badge at the front desk. You sign the severance paperwork, 30 years of mornings reduced to a few pages. You walk out the front door under your own power, nobody openly making you leave. Only about 1 in 4 people in your position who go looking for new work actually find it. Most who do land in security booths, in caretaking, in building maintenance. Less pay than before most of the time. Some of the severance goes into a small business. Fried chicken, the classic choice for people leaving a corporate job at your age. So many retirees reach for the same idea that the market is already crowded before you open the door. Wangap comes that same year, the 60th birthday. Family gathers for a banquet in your honour. The hanbok comes out of the closet again. Same fabric as your wedding. Same fabric from a first birthday you don't personally remember, just seen in photographs. A grandchild arrives not long after. You find yourself waiting outside a school gate again. Except now you're the one doing the waiting. The way your own grandparent once waited for you. Full pension eligibility is still years away, even with the main job already gone. The gap between the two has become the whole shape of your 50s. The apartment bought years ago has gone up in value enough to matter now. One of the only things that has kept pace with everything else. Your own child grown is deep in the same contract job scramble you went through at their age. You watch it differently than you would have watched it once. News like this starts arriving more often now. Someone from your graduating class, a former co-worker, a neighbour from decades back, always someone you used to see every single day. Level 9 the last years. You are 68. Relative poverty among people your age here runs close to 4 in 10. Nearly 3 times the average among wealthy nations. A public pension that was never built to cover a life this long on its own. The basic pension reaches you now, a supplement roughly 2 out of 3 people over 64 receive. It stacks on top of whatever the national pension already sends. Some people your age keep working anyway past 70. A security booth. A parking gate. Sometimes collecting cardboard for the recycling price, folded and stacked and sold by the kilo. The uniform doesn't always match the resume underneath it. The Gyeonggro-dang down the street becomes a daily stop. Free lunch some days. Huatu cards and conversation every day, rain or shine. You wake before 6 now, whether your body needs to or not. You take 4 pills with breakfast, then write down that you took them. You walk to the senior centre by 9, slower than you walked there last year. You play the same card game with the same 3 people. Same as last week. Same as the week before that. At Sealal, you're the one receiving the bows now. You hand the envelopes to grandchildren instead of collecting them. The exact reverse of the earliest memory you can still call up clearly. Long-term care insurance is a separate layer from your regular health coverage. It starts to matter now. Walking gets harder some mornings. The friend from your own childhood is still around, mostly. Coffee some mornings. A phone call on the others when the weather or the joints don't cooperate. Grandchildren ask what this country used to look like when you were their age. The honest answer describes a neighbourhood that doesn't exist in this shape anymore. Health becomes the main subject among whichever friends are still around. More than work ever was. More than children ever were, even. Level 10, the legacy. You are 89. That number isn't a guess. It's the single age where more people in this country die than at any other age, before or after it. You've simply arrived at the statistic everyone else eventually reaches too, if they get this far. Death comes the ordinary way most deaths eventually come. Quietly. In a room, not a headline. National life expectancy sits in the mid-80s now, among the highest anywhere on Earth. Your grandparents didn't get this many years. Their own grandparents got far fewer still. You've had more time than almost anyone in human history ever got. The funeral runs 3 days, the traditional length. It's held at a hospital funeral hall now, not the family home the way it once was. Guests sign a book of condolence at the door. They're served yukajang, spicy beef soup. Rice gets poured from the same bottle, all 3 days straight. Incense burns the whole time, replaced before it ever fully goes out. Your immediate family wears mourning clothes for all 3 days. Plain, deliberate, unmistakable in a crowd of anyone else. What's actually left behind turns out to be paperwork, mostly. A pension file, a health insurance record, a deed to one apartment in one satellite city, the same apartment from decades back. The one you and your spouse waited years of geonts leases to finally sign for. The modest savings and that one apartment barely cover what's left to settle. The same tight arithmetic that ran under your last 20 years keeps running, right through to the end of them. The family gathers one final time. The same faces who filled the room at every chuseok, every wedding, every hwangap you ever hosted or attended. All of it visible at once now in one room for the last time in exactly this shape. In the years that follow, your descendants perform Jasa in your memory on the dates set aside for it. The same ritual you once knelt through yourself as a child for grandparents now 3 generations gone. Just names on paper to the youngest ones in the family now. Not far from here, a hospital room holds a newborn tonight. Same kind of satellite city. Built the same decade as this one. Somewhere close to that hospital, a dolsang table is already being set for a child who doesn't exist yet. There's a pencil sitting on it, waiting to be chosen.